This is a presentation of the A3 Game Android app. A3 Game can be downloaded from Google Play Store for free. With this app and wireless LAN, a Raspberry Pi controls a Neopixel GameBoard. The top left corner shows the A3 Game app icon. The app opens with the init layout. At the top it shows the game icon and the init title. The option button below can choose between game and mode. Game is a play between 3 or 4 players, and mode is a light show of different modes. There are 4 action buttons on this layout. The init button initializes the game and mode, and it synchronizes with the Raspberry Pi. The clear button clears all inputs. The start button starts the game or mode, and the arrow button shows a country map. Game inputs are 3 or 4 driver names with background colors red, green, blue or magenta, 1 of 30 countries, and the Raspberry Pi IP address and port. Mode inputs are only 1 of 30 countries and Raspberry Pi IP address and port. There are 4 examples we are going through to show how this app is operated. Example A, choose a country and look at the highway on the map. So you choose a country, for instance USA, and look at the country on the map. So you see the Route 95 between Washington and New York in the USA. You can choose another country, for instance UK, which is the default. It shows the M1 between London and Leeds. The top left arrow returns to the init layout, and the bottom left arrow returns to the previous layout. Let's go to the init layout. There's another indicator, is the blinking button showing the next action. Example B is mode selection. So you first clear all inputs. You press the mode button. Select 1 of 30 countries. For instance, let's select Germany. Make sure the IP address and port are correct. Press the init button and then the start button. And you get to the mode layout showing different light shows based on the Adafruit strandtest example in conjunction with a Neopixel GameBoard. 1 of 7 modes can be chosen. A counter determines the length of the light show, and the stop button stops the light show. So you go back to the init page. So example C is game selection with only 3 drivers. So you first of all press the clear button, clear all previous inputs, select the country, for instance Turkey, make sure the IP address and port numbers are correct, press init and then start. You get to the game layout for Turkey, but first let's return again to the init layout. For example D. Example D is game selection with known drivers. So you first of all clear all inputs, enter the name of the drivers. So you have driver A, B, C, and D. Select one of various countries, for instance, Netherlands. Make sure the IP address and port numbers are correct. Press Init and then Start. And you get to the game layout for Netherlands, showing the 812 for 4 drivers. There are several buttons on this layout. First of all, you've got the Start Game button in green, starts the game. The dice button in purple generates a random number. The plus minus button row in red, green, blue and magenta. It's an option on how to apply the dice value. The next button in orange, it alternates to the next driver. And the finish button in red opens the finish layout. Indicators are also few on this page. You've got the rounds indication, driver name in color, the dice value in color, kilometers driven in color, and the Android driver who drives from side to side also in color. So let's press the Start button. Round 1 is indicated. Driver 1A is indicated in red. The Android driver starts driving in red and the dice button starts blinking. So you press the dice button. He's got 6 kilometers shown down there and he's in red. So the next one is driver B. Starts driving in green. Dice value is blinking. He's got 1 kilometer driven. Next button, C driver in blue has got 5 kilometers. The driver in D in magenta got 4 kilometers. So you can carry on like this for a while. And these values are always added down there. So it's got 12 plus 6 is 18 now. That sound is a breakdown. B has hit a breakdown and his dice value is set to 0. C has hit a breakdown and his dice value is set to 0. So starting in round 6, the plus minus row button is appearing. So driver A can decide how to apply his value. He's got 27, so he will add 2 to his account. B has got 4 and he also wants to add to his account. C's got 2 and he also wants to add it. D's got 5 and he also wants to add it. That's a trap. A has hit a trap, so he had 35 and 10 kilometers were subtracted, so he has 25 now. So at the end of each round, the finish button appears and you can press the finish button. That was an applause for the winner. This is a finish flag showing 0 circuits driven, however 7 rounds driven, with driver D is the winner. Driver A is second and driver C is third. With the kilometers driven by each one, the breakdowns occurred to each one, and the traps occurred to each one.